welcome to the show, man. Thanks for taking the time. It's so great to meet you.
Absolutely, Jason. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of connected a little bit, talking a little bit before we were recording. Um, Really excited to get into it with you. You've got a lot of irons in the fire with your career, and then also what you're doing now with Hollywood, as we'll get to later on in the program. But
Yeah.
take us back to the beginning, right? So I know you were a high level golfer, junior golfer, college career. I'm always interested in that, and in playing uh, professionally. Like, take us on that journey a little bit of like where you grew up and sort of how you got into that, and then we can, you know, talk about a little bit of your journey getting to the teaching part of it.
Sure. Yeah, man. It's funny because I didn't pick up golf until I was 16. Um, so what is that, grade 10 or something around there. And honestly, it started because I was on a trip with my parents and my aunt and uncle, and they were going to go golf, and and they asked me to go, and I'm like, no, it's okay. You guys go ahead, have fun. I had no interest. And then they're like, well, you can drive the golf cart, and just like reeling me in. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll come. So anyways, I played. I played the last few holes, and this is what still stands out to this day, is I don't know how, but I got a par on one of the holes,
Wow.
and I can't remember if it was a par three or par four, probably par three, but I don't know what I did on the other holes, and it doesn't really matter. But I was hooked after that, and after we got home from this trip, um, I joined a local club back home as a junior member, and it went from there. And to be honest, like I didn't have a lot of junior golf like competitiveness, right? Because I was only 16 when I started, and you're pretty
Yeah, a
much
little
out
bit
of
late.
junior golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much out by 18. So I played a little bit, but I was like, I really like this. Like, I feel like I really want to do this because I'd done basketball and soccer and baseball and high level in those, but I don't know, maybe it was the team aspect, and I love this individualness of golf. And so, anyways, I kept practicing, did some local college back home, and ended up getting a scholarship to a school in Texas when I
Yeah.
was 20.
Northwood, right? Was that like
Yeah,
NAI
yeah.
school? Yeah, that's where we have a common thread. I played at NAI as well.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah. So I mean, because you started late, so obviously you're a little bit behind the eight ball as far as like recruiting goes. So
Yeah,
how did they find you, and like how did that all happen to? And then talk
yeah,
about that experience and how it led to your professional career.
yeah. Honestly, we made some DVDs, and I sent those to some coaches with a package of information. Like I don't feel like I'm that old, but it makes me feel like I'm so old.
You're a
um,
baby, dude. Like, yeah, I had
yeah,
VHS tapes that I had to
yeah,
send out to my colleges. So, calm
yeah,
down.
exactly. I know, I know. But sent those to a bunch and ended up hearing back from some, and went out for a visit to Northwood, and I loved it. Honestly, like I went out to a visit, and I mean it was probably 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was like, this is amazing, because I'm coming from Canada, I'm freezing all
Right.
the time. I'd say I'm not a typical Canadian who's used to the cold. I hate the cold, and so I got there and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so then, yeah, pulled the trigger and went to Northwood, which was awesome.
So, who helped you like in your early years? Like, obviously, your seasons are pretty short from being from Canada, so you had to probably grind at some very, tight situations, whether it's indoors or just a very
Mhm.
small season. Like, did you have some help along the way there? Some coaches that you ran into, or?
Yeah, so I had one coach who really got me off the ground, TJ Atley. She's from Vancouver, and helped a lot of kids over the years. And so she kind of got me started. Um, then, as I started progressing, did see Rob Holding, as we talked about a little bit, saw him a
Mm-hmm.
little bit as well. So I kind of had a few that kind of helped me along the way, but I would say that, and probably to my detriment, probably did too much on my own. Um, and I could have used more guidance. Um, but I mean, we didn't have a lot of money. it's not like everyone cost a lot, but it was hard. It was hard to go and
Sure.
take a bunch of lessons, and so just did a lot of practicing on my own, right? Junior membership, so just go and live at the course, watch Golf Channel. I mean, I watch Golf Channel all day long, and watching the tips and stuff on there back then, and kind of learned from the watching pros, all right? And that's kind of how it went. And like I said, I wish that I took it a little more seriously in terms
Sure.
of coaching and especially fitness side, because that eventually my fitness side is what took me out of the game with injury.
I was gonna ask you, like, you got to get to, like, because you did play. Did you talk about your professional journey? Like, how long did you play? Like, what was that like? As far as, did you go to Q school, or that was
Yeah.
trying to do my research? There wasn't a whole lot of information. Either you were very private, or there just wasn't a whole lot of information. But because I mean, I think it's an important part of your story is, like, playing, whether it's in Q school or playing some PGA Tour events or Corn Ferry events, and then being able to transition that into the coaching side of it. Like, talk a little bit about that part of your career.
Yeah, for sure. After college, I went to the Canadian Tour Q school that winter, and we did it in Palm Springs. And honestly, it's a good story because I still remember this until today. Is that I'm coming down the stretch, right at the end of Q school, Canadian Tour Q school, and I was playing well, but I wasn't like I was bubble boy, right? I was around the line of making it and not making it, and I remember making a 4 or 5 foot putt for par on 18, which was amazing, 72nd hole. And then kind of finished, and we're like, I'm just outside the line. So my caddy and I, we went back to the hotel where we were staying, and I kind of watched the scores a bit, and I saw myself kind of like slowly creeping up closer.
When
And
wind came up or the weather got bad, maybe.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The afternoon in Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I was like the last group coming in, I was just below the line. The very last group, one guy who was just one shot in front, doubles 18.
Oh, wow.
And he lets me and like 3 others who were tied inside the line.
Wow. That's awesome.
And it was incredible. And so at that point, I'm going crazy because I'm like with my caddy, and this is the first time I've done this. I'm like, there might be a playoff. I don't know. Like, do we got to go and play off for this spot? Right. I can't remember if it was like 25 spots or however many it was. So we rushed back to the course and go in the clubhouse, find an official, and they're like, no, if you're inside the line, ties make it as well. And so
Right.
I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, that's incredible. So made the Canadian Tour, my first attempt, and then played Canadian Tour for 3 years. Without a lot of success. It's freaking hard.
It is hard.
And like, it's just getting better too. Right now, it's just crazy. With the PGA America, it's like everyone's so good, but it was just hard. And so then after 3 years, there was the PGA Tour China that was starting, and I took that up. And so I went to China on a whim. Like, I don't know anyone in there in China, right? But I was like, I've gone to college, I've traveled and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to go and do this. See, maybe this is a good opportunity for me to make it, right? And so anyways, played a year there, did better than I did in Canada. But that's when I started to have back pain.
Oh, okay.
Kind of,
Yeah, I was wondering what the injury was.
yeah, low right back. And specifically the injury, and even to today, I had MRIs, like I had every imaging. I saw specialists, everything. And no one knew exactly what the issue was, which was so frustrating.
Yeah,
because there's like,
frustrating.
Yeah, so frustrating because there's a little of this. There's a slight annular tear. There's a slight disc bulge. There's a slight this. They're like, that stuff is kind of normal-ish to a point at your age. Like,
Sure.
It happens. You could have pain. You might not have pain. So if you go and do surgery on one of those, it might resolve it and might not. So it's like, well, okay. And so anyways, I ended up thinking like, okay, I guess I'm done for now. and just stopped playing and was like, I don't know I don't
So
know why
it
I'm
got to the
wondering.
point where you just like you couldn't play through the pain. You were trying to get it worked on,
Yeah,
that type of situation. You're just like, what,
yeah,
what am I going to do now?
exactly. Yeah, I
So
remember.
here's a question, real like think it because I got a lot of kids that I teach on the mini tours and whatnot, and
Mhm.
my son being one of those. But it's like, how did you go about like getting backing or investors to help with your travel and tournament expenses at that
Mhm.
time? I'm just
Yeah,
curious to hear if it's changed at all, or what does that look like? Because I think it could help a lot of mini tour guys that maybe perhaps don't listen to the show, mostly
for
coaches.
sure.
But what was your story and how'd you make that happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, a lot of fundraisers. So I did a couple different types of fundraisers. I did get sponsors. I'll touch on that in a sec. But fundraisers like golf and dinner type of thing, type of tournaments. Okay, so the Nathan Leonhardt golf fundraiser, which was about trying to get me finances to play on tour. All right, and so your entry would come with golf and dinner, and then I would. The biggest like spot in that where I made the most money though was the auction items.
Hmm.
So, because those are donated. So everything that I get from those, all the finances I get from those go right into my pocket, right? Versus like a portion of the ticket and their entry into it, I get, right? So one of the coolest things I got for a couple of years was signed Trevor Linden jerseys. And so Trevor being like a Hall of Famer, Vancouver Canucks, legend. Um,
Yeah, the hockey guys will know who that is, I guess.
yes, they will. It's funny because as
I'm
a
a little
Canadian,
novice in that area, but I'm working on it.
no, as a
My
Canadian,
boy Jake Thurm will exactly know who that is, but I'm a little new to
100%.
it. Yeah, so thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, I'm not a huge hockey fan, and like I said, as a Canadian, I would get shot at for that. But
Yeah.
so these jerseys he would sign for me. I got to meet him, and the coolest thing was that he allowed me to bring the winner of this in person, and he would sign it in person. He would meet them there.
Oh, that's so cool.
So cool.
What a
And so
guy.
that what does that do to the price of that item, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Huge. And so that again, that's made a lot of money doing those things. Um, Another fundraiser was just like burger and a beer at like a pub event, 50-50 silent auctions, those type of things.
Hmm.
But one of them, um, it came after I went to, so funny, I played in the BC Amateur, the British Columbia Amateur one year. I think I sucked. I don't know. I didn't play very good. All right. And this is before I turned pro. And I'm like, it was like a month after that, I was starting to play well. And I'm like, I feel something here. I'm feeling good. Like it's going well. And I'm like, I said to my dad, I said, do you think I could go and play the Arizona Mid Amateur Championship? I was just 25 at the time.
Mhm.
And he's like, I mean, you didn't play very good in the BCM. You sure you want to like do that? I'm like, I don't know. I feel really good about the game right now. Anyways, long story short, I went and I won the tournament.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was funny because like after the first round, I think I might have had like a 6-shot lead, and then it evaporated. And I was like tied in the final round with like 4 holes to play, and ended up winning by 2. But after I came back from that, one of the members at the course I was at, I was talking with him. He's like, hey, you know what? I find another guy. Maybe we, try to both pony up and give you a little money to go and play.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got to have a
Yeah,
resume, right? That's the tough thing is,
for sure.
you got to kind of sell yourself, and obviously
Yeah.
you're great at that personality part of it, which I think helps a lot of that. That's interesting. I've never heard of like I've heard of fundraisers, but like a charity thing or an auction
Mhm.
thing, that's such a interesting idea. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you deal with businesses in your area, right? A lot of them are like, "Oh, that's cool. I don't mind giving you this item, right? It's different from all the other,
Hmm.
events they give prizes to and stuff like that, right? If this guy makes it, that's kind of cool. We helped him out. Um, yeah, and then I ended up getting working sponsorship out with this pub that I did one of my fundraisers at, and one of the beer companies that provided beer to this pub. And the funniest thing is, I've never been a big drinker, and here I have a
I was
bar
going
on
to say
one
that
sleeve.
you're set for life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I got a bar on one sleeve, and I got a beer company on the other sleeve.
That's sick.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then, like you said, gets a few results under your belt a little bit, and then just keep going, keep asking. Come up with these resumes, come up with these packages. Like I had full proposals. It was all very professional. I tried the whole thing about giving shares away, and I don't like that. I didn't like that. I haven't thought about it in many years, but the last I remember, I'm just not a fan of it. I feel like there's other better ways of doing it. I'm sure that I could be convinced now. I've been out of it for a while in terms of thinking like that, but it's just hard. It's hard to know you always owe somebody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Always in debt.
It is. Yeah. It's like I'm kind of going through it, like I said, with several players and giving them advice. And obviously it's very close when it's your son. And yeah, you don't want people that are like immediate, like, oh, what's my ROI on whatever small amount that they're really going to give you. Like, it's not who you want rooting for you and investing in you. So I think it's added pressure, right? It's like
100%.
when I work with mini tour players, I've worked with so many over the years, and it's like I always ask them, like, where's your backing coming from? And usually if it's the parents, that's a tough one, right? Because it's whether they know it or not, it's pressure. Even if the family is great and they're like rooting for you, it's still pressure in both sides. So like you can't perform your best if you're worried about the next entry fee or the next plane ticket. You got to be able to kind of get freed up there. So yeah, you're very
so hard,
you're very ingenuitive there, like to do the auctions and stuff. That's so cool. And it just sounds like it just snowballed from there.
So, like you said,
3 years, 3 years after, like, so you're China 1 year after, and you get hurt. So obviously you were forced to make a decision. So how did you get on with your next part of your career?
Yeah, I remember I was in like the living room with my dad, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm living with my parents. I don't have any money. Like I didn't make much money playing golf. So I was like, okay, well, my plan was that I was going to play next season. I was maybe going to go back to PGA Tour China, try to do that again because I was doing decent out there. So I was just going to take time off first and heal. Well, long story short, it didn't heal for 5 years. So,
wow.
But thankfully, and this is the thing, this is the silver lining behind it all, which is just like, I'm so thankful I got injured, which is such a weird thing to say because it wasn't, I think it was within a week after that, I got a phone call from someone saying, hey, I'm coaching this kid and their parents, they have another son and they're wondering if you could coach their other son while you're trying to get back, while you're not traveling. And I was like, absolutely. I don't have a job. I don't have any money. That'd be great, right? Kid was good already. He was a good player. He was playing junior tournaments. And so it ended up turning into a full-time job where, and unfortunately for the coach that called me, I ended up taking the other son as well. And I was coaching both sons. They wanted me on both sons. And so we would travel North America to tournaments. I would pick them up from school. I would take them to practice at the course. I'd drop them off at home. And I did this for years. And that's how I got into teaching. While I was teaching these kids, I started to be interested. Because when I was playing golf, I had no idea about the golf swing. I just did whatever I felt, right?
That was my next question. It's like, where did the information come? Like you can only fake it for so long, right? We're all like that when we come out of college, and I did the same thing teaching. I mean, I don't know that I would have paid me to teach anybody at that point. So how did you progress, and how did you get your information and feel like you got good enough to keep these kids for 6 years?
Yeah, I know. So I started with TPI, and I think once I went through the first level of TPI, I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Just like understanding how the body's really involved in the golf swing. Again, I didn't have a lot of knowledge of how the body affected things at that stage, and so that kind of started the wheel spinning. Then I started to do did the Penn State biomechanics. I did Dr. Kwan's stuff. I've seen him in person and all sorts of things. And so I just started doing a bunch of these things. And I think over time, I've never followed one, but I've taken everything and kind of combined it into my own thinking and philosophy, as most of us do. But I think that's really, it really helped me early on to be like, hey, at least I have an understanding of like what I should look for with these kids and things like that, and then going forward. But it was more with them. It was more like, I got to teach these guys how to play golf. How to just get the ball in the hole. Like, let's get to a tournament. Let's practice. Let's find out the course. Let's map out the course. Like they might have been young, but they were, ahead of the game, and that was my job to push them to another level of training, so to say.
Yeah. So you're kind of pulling from the thread of you playing golf and at the highest level or on tour, and a lot of mental-ish like strategy stuff probably was, valuable to these kids. Like, how old were these kids when you got a hold of them?
10 and 13 or 14.
So where are they now?
One's going to Pepperdine University.
Okay, so you did pretty good.
He's not playing for him though.
Okay, well, all right. I thought that was going to be a success story.
I know. He did play. He did play for them a little bit, but no, he got more into school and did more of the school route after it. And that's really been huge again in my coaching, just to understand how pressure and family pressure and things like that go into the success of junior golf, right? You don't have a full-time coach for your kids if you're not putting pressure on them. Like, this is another level, right?
Yeah.
And so I always knew, like, I was always against something. Like, this was going to be a hard battle, even not against the parents, but like to get this kid to the tour, because of the fact that we were doing it because he was being told to do it.
Yeah.
Not because he was necessarily super passionate about it. He ended up really liking it, and he was good at it and this and that, but there wasn't that inner drive to, stay on the range. Yeah. It was like, we'd have to make him go and do that kind of stuff. And like, I knew early on, like, I need to try to make this as fun as possible for him, like away from the family, just so that there's some longevity here. Because otherwise, I mean, he's going to just beat his head against the wall.
Yeah, we get a lot of kids, and I know you teach a lot of kids and juniors now too. It's if the parents are having to push them to go practice, then probably don't have it, right? Like, set your expectations accordingly to like how far they can go. Not to say that they won't catch fire later on. It happens, but you can kind of tell, right? Kids have that ignition, reasonably early, especially like you said, if you caught him when he was already a pretty decent player. Like, if you're having to force him to go practice and play, then there's probably an issue there with kids start with the parents.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So anyways, we went for a while, and it was great. It was a great experience for me in my career. It got me started.
Did that lead into your next opportunities as far as like coaching went, or like how did you start to pursue like what you did next as far as coaching? That was a little bit of a gap that I didn't know exactly where you went from there. I know where you are now, which is awesome. We can talk about that, but yeah, take us through that, how that obviously opened up some doors for you.
Yeah. While I was coaching the kids, that's where I created my logo, my academy name that is now Tour Development Academy, because I was like, my goal, my passion right now is developing kids and hopefully make it to the tour. So I came up with that and started. I was only coaching these 2 kids, but I created this logo and I started putting it on my hats and stuff like that, right? And here it is today. It's still going and doing well. And so I think that after being with the kids, I started to get some of these mini tour guys coming to me, some college players, because they knew I wasn't playing anymore. They knew that I had the experience as a tour player, and I was known for like a really good short game. So
Okay.
they started coming to me for putting and chipping stuff.
So where did you coach? Like, what was your home base? Like, do you have to have
Yeah.
somewhere to teach?
Yeah, so I was able to use Richmond Country Club. Richmond Country Club's a great private club in Richmond, British Columbia, near Vancouver. They allowed me to do a lot of stuff out there with the kids and things like that, or these college players, which was cool. And then eventually I moved into an indoor space, which was a really high-end luxury golf retail store. And they had 2 simulators in the back. And it just happened to be the kids that I was working with, their family owned the store.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of led into this space that I could now start teaching some lessons. But it was just, it was 3 walls, like it was just a space, a simulator, right? And but it was TrackMan, so that was nice. And so I just started doing some adult lessons from there, and it just kind of kept growing.
So then you start doing some of the online stuff. Like, how'd you get involved with Skillist? I know you're one of the top guys in Skillist. How did that segment some of your? I guess, I mean, obviously you're trying to make money, right? It's like that point you're like, how do I get business if I don't have a country club or a place
Yeah.
to do it? And I know at that point, because I've talked to Baden a lot, and he's doing a great job with the app, and it's becoming huge now, especially since COVID. Like, how did that come about, and like how's that helped you, I guess, sharpen your eye as far as like seeing a lot of golf swings, and is there a difference in helping people online as opposed to in person? It's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
no.
That's a lot. That's a big question right there. I'm sorry.
I love it. No, I love it. It's great because, I like talking about online because of the fact, like, I don't do as much as I did in the past. And just because I built a new academy and I had 2 kids and this and that. And so like this academy that I built took more of my time. But when I was doing Skillist a lot, which would have been, let's say, maybe 3-4 years ago, and grew, like you said, to one of the top guys on there, it was just all about social media, and that's when I got my Golf Academy Instagram channel to go from 1,000 followers to almost 30,000 followers in a month. And so then I was like, okay, well, that's great. Now I'm going to use this for online business,
Sure.
right? And then just started teaching online lessons. And honestly, it was like, there were just some techniques on getting into it, on like giving away free lessons. Honestly, that was it. Give away free lessons, get reviews, get people talking good about your coaching. I'm getting reps, which was good because I needed it. They're getting free or very cheap lessons. They're leaving reviews, which is now moving me up in the ranking on Skillist. And then I start charging more, and more people come because I'm doing more lessons and more reviews are showing that I'm doing well, right? And like you said, sharpening your eye, that's Skillist is where I feel like I really gained the confidence in teaching. It was because of all the swings I saw and seeing, yes, these same patterns do keep happening, right? Over and over, similar things. There's 1,000 different movements that can happen, but the big things that happen, there's only like a couple handfuls of things that you're going to really see all the time, right? And so
Sure.
then it just got better at being quicker at identifying them and simplifying the way of helping them improve it.
Yeah. So now, like, when did you get hooked up with Rob? We were talking about Rob, our mutual friend Rob Holding, which is where you're at now. This is like your first actual, like you said, an academy? I know you're talking about your business, but is this the first like actual building facility that you've been at?
Yeah.
Besides the simulator place, obviously, but
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob Holding, he had a huge center near Vancouver.
maybe
And then,
it'd be fun to tell everybody who Rob Holding is, because I mean most people in the teaching business know, and he's a great friend of mine and I
yeah.
love him. But like, describe who he is as far as like the Canadian
Yeah.
golf instruction.
I mean, he's a legend in Canadian junior golf coaching, right? Nick Taylor's coach, Adam Svensson's coach, Chris Casalago, a bunch of girls that have done amazing, couple that go to Harvard right now. So like he's done really well with that in that world. And he's had successful golf academies in the Vancouver area, just pumping out junior golf. A lot of coaches working for him. Yeah. And so he built, after he sold this big location, he was like, I'm not quite done yet. So he built a new location at a public range, and it was up on the second floor. There's two big hitting bays with garage doors that open up automatically with push of a button. Inside, swing catalyst cameras, TrackMans. Now I got smart to move force plates. I got hack motion. We got kind of sports box, kind of everything in there. But he, after about a year after he built this new spot, he came to me. He's like, I'm kind of done operating. I'm kind of done with like this whole operation thing. I want to get out of it. I still want to teach a bit, but would you be interested? Are you available financially to do this? Would you be interested in taking over this facility that I just built, about a year ago? And long story short, I did. Right. It went, honestly, like, it was nerve-wracking to me, right? This is huge.
Sure. Yeah, that's a big responsibility.
Yeah, man, because there's also golf coaches who work for him who I'm now taking over. Right? I've only ever operated my own business. But now these people, these coaches, whether they're good or not, doesn't matter. They're going to be a part of my academy, right? Which is now the Tour Development Academy. And that's what I changed it to as soon as I moved in there, right? So now they're holding the brand too. Whether or not they want to or not, that's kind of how it is. And so that was, I wouldn't say it was super challenging, but it was tough. It took time. Definitely, getting to know the coaches, getting to know how we're going to do scheduling and all this, with our spaces and things like that. Accounting, like the list goes on, right?
Right. How long ago was this when you took over?
3 years ago, April. So
okay.
It's almost 3 years.
Just getting sort of comfy, right?
I would say that I got comfy pretty quick. But I would say what's cool now is that I've hired, we've gone through and I've hired people who fit my brand and who fit the academy. And so we're in a really good place now where the coaches that are in there, I have 3 coaches and Rob, who still works at the academy, 3 coaches who are really on board with TDA, the Tour Development Academy, and kind of what we stand for is high quality coaching, right? Premium coaching. And so it's been a cool journey. It's been difficult, but I mean, man, it's been super rewarding.
Yeah, I was going to say, you kind of answered it, but like what the challenges were to take over with an existing staff, right? Because now, whether you got to train them, or they don't need to be trained, but like you said, that you want them to sort of fit your philosophy. Take me through what that process was like and how you handled that. And then my backup question there is like, what do you feel like your philosophy is in coaching? It sounds like obviously you're TPI body centric type of coach. Has that changed at all? And like, how would you, like, you're going to get that question, right? Somebody calls the academy. What's the great question? Like, what do you teach? What do you believe in? What's your philosophy? It's like, how would you answer that? And how did you impart that into your staff? It sounds like you may have some turnover, but I understand. It's
Yeah, yeah,
that's going to be
yeah.
understandable for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. My philosophy is definitely body swing. And it's not that like TPI got into my brain and whatnot. It's just that from my education and the certifications, the biomechanics courses, all things like this, Dr. Kwan, like everything, the way we put the club in positions, I do it with different movements of my body. And I just find that since I've been able to learn more about the body, helping people understand little body movements, help them see the golf swing differently, make it easier to understand inside out or why they're swinging over the top, things like that. And so, yeah, I mean, someone comes and asks, that's exactly how I say it. Like, I'm going to help you take all this complex stuff about how the body moves in the golf swing, and we're going to simplify it. We're going to simplify it. We don't need to go into talking about all the technical terms. I'm going to tell you, I need your spine to be tilted. I need your spine to tilt a little more like this, your hips to go this way a little bit more, so that it's just simple for you to understand. And then that's going to help the club get into these better positions. And I think that what's really cool, though, and what really makes great coaches, and what I'm trying to help my coaches along the line there, is that it always depends who's in front of you.
Sure.
So like, I would say we get a lot of, just as most of us do, just beginners, intermediates who don't know the technical knowledge. So most of the time we need to have that ability to be able to simplify things as much as possible. But then it's cool when one of those lessons, maybe it's a pro, and it's like, now you're starting to talk about all this kind of technical stuff, which is just, it's cool, because then you almost kind of leave like, oh wow, I shut that side off of me all day. But then, in that moment, it's nice to be able to have that still there, right? You have that backup, you have that knowledge there for when the time's right.
Who have you spent time with, or who have been your major influences in coaching? Hopefully you're spending some time with Rob, because I mean he's a great resource. But I think I was looking through your Instagram. You spent a little time with Dana. Like, who other coaches have you felt influenced you in your coaching style?
Yeah, what Rob's really helped me with is the business side of things. We've, and that's what I've been really lucky to have, especially in the beginning, just phoning him, just in the evenings. We talk for an hour sometimes here or there. We just talk about things, about business, coaches doing this, structuring lessons, pricing, my own thoughts, getting his feedback, things like that. And so that was huge at that point,
Sure.
right? Going into this new, and I think he really enjoyed that too, right? This mentorship of someone who's kind of going into the shoes that he's been walking in all these years of this golf academy business. And to be quite honest, when it comes to like big mentors, I didn't have a lot. I did a lot of just self research. I wish I did maybe have more, but at the end of the day, I just did a lot of kind of research and stuff on my own. And I didn't have these people that I could go and ask a lot of questions to, which, maybe I wish I did, which I didn't. I am where I am, but I did a lot of it kind of on my own. That was mainly through like I said, TPI, then certifications here or there.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you went and spent some time with DD. I mean, like I've
Yeah.
seen you've shadowed some
Dahlquist.
coaches. I'm not saying they got to
Yeah.
be like your mentor, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
people that you've spent time with. And I think when we first started chatting, Devin Bonebreak, you said you guys were friends, and just had him on the podcast, and just met him for the first time down at the workshop at AMF.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Dana was awesome. It's always so interesting seeing these guys in action. Like what is the reason that these guys charge, over $600 an hour? What is it? What
yeah.
is that little thing? And obviously having major championships on your major champion players on your roster helps. And I think that's huge. When you have these results from players, that's massive. You know, I know
Sure.
that helped me in the beginning for sure. And then I think, you know, actually going back, I think I learned a lot, not necessarily from getting Gucci, but I learned a lot from Genghis.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, he's very knowledgeable, just
Very
with
smart guy.
matchups, very smart.
Hmm.
Just biomechanics in general, not where the club's at, not getting shallow, not speaking of that, just understanding the way the body works and these commonalities that we see in most golf swings. So definitely learned a lot from his stuff.
Yeah. No, there you go. Like you got, there's so many now. Like you said,
Yeah.
you're hanging out in California,
Yeah.
which is a nice segue to why you're hanging out in California. So for those that don't know, Nathan is the golf consultant for the new show on Apple called Stick, right? So it's a from I'm a movie guy, right? And we talked about that before. And I'm a streaming, I watch way too much TV, but I'm kind of into it. I love the behind the scenes things that happen to develop projects like that. So that is so cool. I'm envious, by the way. Like I can't believe they didn't call me, and nobody listens to the podcast. But talk about how that happened. Like how did you connect with the writers and the directors to be that person? And then I've got a lot of questions about the show.
Yeah, I know, and it's a great question. Everyone's asked all the time. It's like they're first asking because they want to know how it happened, but they also want to know like why you? Why did you get picked? There's so many golf coaches. Why you?
Yeah.
And I get it. But here's how it went. They filmed season 1 in Vancouver, Canada. So it helped that I was there
There you
because
go.
they
I was
weren't
gonna say
they
there's one leg up right there, right?
yeah, they weren't flying someone in who they didn't necessarily know or whatnot. There's plenty of coaches in the world, but if there was a coach that worked in Vancouver, that's what they wanted. So what I know is they Googled and they contacted the PGA.
Okay.
So they went on Google, they looked for top golf instructors in the area. They were looking for coaches that had a background in playing competitively as well, because as the show goes into competitive golf,
Yep.
that just helps. And so then they contacted the PGA of British Columbia as well. They gave them some names that they thought might be a good fit. And my name kept coming up a couple times. So I was part of that list. And so they reached out. And I mean, I get this phone call. I'm at home and this guy's like, "Hi, my name's Chad. I'm the project manager of this upcoming Apple TV show starring Owen Wilson." I'm like, okay, it's going to be a golf show and we're looking for a golf consultant. I mean, instantly you're like, this is such a hox. Like, it's such a scam.
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
is a scam.
Yeah, I'm not giving you my credit card. I don't know what you're going to get from me. So he's like, he gave me his full name, said, you can look me up online on IMDb and see my credentials and this and that. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. He said, so what we're looking for is we're looking for someone to work full time with the production from May 1st through till the middle of September, which for us in Vancouver is peak teach season.
Yeah. I was
That
gonna say
is,
that's like also somebody that's actually available to
yes,
do that and not give up all that income, right?
exactly. We've been waiting all winter to make dough, right?
Yeah.
And this is it. And so he said, give it a thought. See if you're interested, if you could be available, and if so, what you would want to be paid to do it.
Oof. That's a question
And I
you want to
said,
hear.
it was a question I wanted to hear. And he said, but I need to know today by 5.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
is right. Yes.
Jeez.
So
That's a lot of pressure.
you're asking me to change my career. You're asking me to change my whole academy. You're asking me to change like my kind of the way of life this summer now. Right now, today, I got to make a decision. So anyways, thankfully my wife was there after I got off the phone and we were like, this is crazy. Owen Wilson, golf TV show, full-time consultant. I have to do this. Like, I don't even know though. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start for pricing, right? Like I have no idea. Like if I said I wanted 500 or a day or 1,000 a day or 2,000 a day, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
And if
so
they answer too quick, then you're like, oh, I should ask for more.
exactly.
Like, did you reach out to somebody at that point to go, I mean,
We did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Continue.
We did. My wife had done some background acting stuff in the past, and she had an agent for that stuff. So we reached out to him, and he said, well, consultants usually get, and he gave me a price that was quite low. Consultants usually get, I want to say maybe 500-600 a day or something. And I'm like, well, obviously I'm not doing that. I mean,
yeah, that's less than you're going to make. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
that's where you got to start, right? It's like, how much am I making now?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's make X more than that, or it's not going to be worth, even though it would be super cool.
100%. Yeah. So that's what we did. We're like, okay, this is how we figured it out. What am I making on my busiest day? All right, there's that. What if after me being away for the summer, I start losing students and it starts affecting future business?
Sure.
All right, let's pile on a number because of that, right? And then from there, I'm like, okay, I got nothing to lose. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say what this price is, and we'll see what they say.
Sure.
And ended up, calling them back, and I said, okay, I could do it, but it's the busiest time of year. I'm going to need this amount per day. They wanted a weekly total, so but I'd be interested to do it. He's like, okay, let me get back to you. And so he called me back literally in 2 minutes, and he said, okay, can we get you on a call with our producer tomorrow?
Dang.
Yeah.
You should ask for more.
Right? Well, here we are in season 2.
That's funny. Yeah, exactly. So they're still keeping you on. That is so awesome. So you start, right? So I mean, I want the behind the scenes stuff. Right?
Yeah.
It's like what do they tell you that they want from you? Like, what's your role? Obviously you're making sure the golf stuff doesn't suck or look stupid, but like, what was the first day on set like to meet like Owen Wilson and the other actors, and like give me the good stuff? Because it's already aired. Like I've heard you on a couple podcasts before it started. You're like, I can't tell anything, but we've already seen season 1, so you can kind of, as long as you don't spoil season 2, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta say, make sure I don't talk about the new actors who are coming out in season 2.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
But for the way it happened, so even before I got the job, what they wanted me to do was read the scripts. Well, it was like, let's say the first 4 episodes. Okay. They sent me the first 4 episode scripts, and they're like, you're going to have a call with the creator of the show, Jason Keller. And Jason did Ford versus Ferrari. So that's up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, after I read that, I'm like, oh boy, okay, this is like a whole new world. I don't even know what I'm getting myself into. And so I read the scripts, and obviously, like, I'm like, I'm like laughing, right? Because I'm like almost like seeing Owen Wilson in my mind. Like I could see the way he would say something, right? And I'm like laughing. I'm like, this is cool. This is awesome.
Yeah, sure.
And so on our call, I said to him, and this is still an interview process, I said, it's awesome. He asked how it was. I said, it's great. But, there's the golf stuff. There's things that need to be changed. The lingo, the terminology, the way they say things, the club that they would hit. There's some stuff that just doesn't make sense. And he's like, and he laughed, and he's like, oh, I put that in there as a test just to see how you were.
Okay.
And he didn't. It wasn't a test, but he was he was pleasantly surprised, I think, at that point. And so we hit it off. And after that call, I got the job right away. But so right from there, it started with the scripts. So reading all the scripts and giving them all my feedback and my changes to wording. Because there was a lot, and you can imagine.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not golfers. Like, I mean, I know that the actors, like Owen's doesn't really play golf. Yeah. And the other dude, I don't know if he does or not, so you can tell me once we get into it. But you're dealing with people that don't really know the game, and you're going to get roasted. by the golfing community when they're like saying stupid shit that doesn't make any sense, right? All right. So
Oh,
continue.
yes.
I'm sorry.
I know. That's what Jason kept telling me too. He's like, it's okay. You'll only hear from everyone on Reddit and things like that. They'll only abuse you a little bit. It's not a big deal. I'm like, okay, no pressure. Um, and so, okay, so read the script, and yeah, so Santi, he never played golf before the show.
I was going to ask you, like, no golf at all.
No golf at all.
Oh my
No golf at
gosh.
all before
Okay.
he got hired for the job. So he was living in New York. I was hired. I helped them find a coach there in New York to work with him, like on just getting started, right?
Sure.
The basics, right? We got
Wow.
to get started. And so they worked together for, I want to say maybe a few weeks to a month before he moved to Vancouver for filming. And so then once he came to Vancouver, him and I worked, I'd say every day, maybe a couple hours every day, taking what they had worked on, his positioning, his setup and stuff, and just refined it. And it's so funny because, and I said to him in the beginning, this is going to be a weird process because we're not building a golf swing for you to hit a good golf shot. We're making a golf swing that makes you look amazing on screen, right? We're building a beautiful golf swing.
Yeah.
Not a functional swing. They should be in the same, but
The editing has to be just so ridiculous then. Right? Because I mean, he looks kind of pure. Like he looks like he looks like a flusher. Like, I mean, like at least the way he stands up to it, like he knows what he sort of knows what he's doing.
yeah.
Like how much did they use like a swing double at some point or?
Yeah, so we used the swing double. We used the swing double quite a bit, but the swing double wasn't necessarily used in the final cut all the time. So I would say Santi struggles with driver, just like any golfer does. Like to make a driver swing look purely authentically tour,
Yeah.
it's pretty tough. But when you're
Right.
going at slower swings, slower speeds, wedges, irons, a lot of those were himself,
Really?
which was really cool. Now, whether or not there was, an actual golf ball being hit or a foam ball or something like that, I don't know. But
Okay. All right.
but at the end of the day, like a lot of those swings were him, which was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because clearly, Timothy Oliphant doesn't play. If not, they I love him too. By the way, he's one of my favorite
He's so
actors.
good.
He's
So
such a
good.
cool dude. I mean, he seems like a cool guy. I've never met him, but when the whole challenge, the par 3 challenge or whatever at the end, they didn't show him actually swinging a club. They just showed like the club hitting the ball landing on the green. You could tell like, oh, they didn't want to show his golf swing. But Owens, they actually showed him moving, or at least if it was him, it could have been somebody in the wig. But you did work a little bit with Owen as well, right?
Yeah. Well,
Talk about that.
Touching on Timothy first. I mean, you're
Yeah.
right. He's an awesome guy. Like, to be honest, we met. What's funny is because that scene at the golf course there, before that they were up in a golf academy. Timothy walks in, meets a girl. She's a reporter.
Right.
They meet. They're in a golf academy, and that's my golf academy.
Oh, I was going to ask you because I heard you on another interview, and you said there might be a sneak peek of my golf academy. I was wondering if that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
it.
that was
That's so
it.
cool. Yeah.
And so, like on the screen in the background, that's me in a held position on Swing Catalyst. That's me.
Nice.
That's so cool. It's like these little Easter eggs just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
But after Timothy left, and then he came back again later on, like he was so excited to see me. He's just such a cool guy. Like you said, you
seems
got
like
that
it.
impression. He
Yeah.
is. He's a really cool guy, and which is awesome. And then Owen, yeah. He didn't do a lot of swinging last season really at all, but he
Yeah,
definitely,
the one little, I guess, one scene in the parking lot where he's just, he's like, oh, I still got it. I'm striping it. Was that? I don't think that was him, was it? That was not him.
where he was
Right outside the
striping it-
camper.
in the patch. Yes.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
just hitting balls. Remember? And he's like, yeah, just do it like this. There's no way that was him.
Yeah, that probably wasn't him all the time.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
no,
man.
no, that was a fun scene too, though. But yeah, no, he didn't hit all those shots.
So
But
you're literally there for every like part of them filming the movie, right? It's
yeah,
like not just
yeah,
like logistically, like okay, you need to change this, change that. You're literally able to be on set and watch them like actually
yeah,
film the stuff. That's
everything.
amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. That is
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean,
So
everything golf related. So like there's obviously moments where they're somewhere and there's no golf that's being
sure,
involved at all. So I don't have to go to that stuff. But
okay,
it's a golf show. There's quite a bit of golf involved or at
yeah,
some point. And so I'm on set for all those, which is yeah, it's wild to be right there and like even right now, like this past week, I'm literally walking in because Jason Keller's there. He's like, hey, like I need you to step in. He told me right from the beginning, if you see something, you have the authority to step in and tell them that it
okay.
needs to
How
be
many times
changed.
have you done that? That was one of my questions. Is like, how many times did you see something you're going, this can't happen, and you said, all right, we have to do it this way, or that they would say it this way. And then my second question is like, how many times did they push back and go, no, we got to keep it in the script?
Yeah,
And can you
I
and give
think
examples that if you can?
thankfully most of it was taken care of before filming, like before
Okay,
we're
gotcha,
shooting, right?
gotcha.
So it's like if I would know ahead of time and the script or whatnot, and they'd be setting up the shot, and let's just say there's a mirror imitating like we're in a golf academy and there's like a mirror and he's swinging and he's swinging like the ball's going to come off here and the mirror's right there. I'm like, okay, we're not going to hit 4 inches beside a mirror, right? Like we need to like give some space,
Right.
or there's a beam right behind him. We need to have some room to move around here. He's not going to be um, and he's not going to be holding the club like this, holding it over the shoulder or something like that, like
He's not carrying his golf bag while he's hugging it going up to the first
yes,
tee, right? It's like you see a lot of our
yeah,
members do that. No
exactly,
names be named, but yeah, it's like you got to look like a player, right?
100%.
That's awesome.
Well,
So yeah,
one
go
of
ahead
the
and give me an
things
example. Yeah.
one of the things with the tour bags is that we're we're on a golf course, and this is early in season one, and he's playing in this tournament like an amateur tournament. He holes out the last shot on the last hole to win,
Yeah, that was
and
his first little tournament he played in and won. Yeah.
gold Rolex guy has to pay Owen.
28 on the back nine, by the way. Like, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
43,
Going deep.
28.
Yeah, that's how we do it, man. That's how we do it. We got to stretch it for TV a little bit. Come on.
I know. I get it. Yeah.
But there's some in this tournament. It was just like amateurs, right? And what's funny was some of these guys had these cart bags, and they were carrying cart bags, and they would set a cart bag down on the ground, standing up, and you could tell, what a cart bag looks like. It's not a tour bag, it's a cart bag, and there's like 3 guys with cart bags off, and they're all kind of standing beside them, and they're in the distance, and I'm like, that would never happen. That's so wrong. We need to change that. And here they go over the PA, and they're announcing to someone who's over there working on set, okay, we need to switch those for stand bags.
Yeah, can we get a
And
stand bag, please?
yeah,
Come on.
the props department runs out with stand bags, and they pull the cart bags back, and we move
Oh my
on.
God. That is fantastic.
I mean, yeah, there's so many of those that just like you never know, right? That's the whole point. I have a job. You're hoping that something like that doesn't show up. But there are certain things where you're probably about to say that come up, maybe the way they say something or certain things that happen, which I couldn't always get it my way,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it is still a TV show. At the end of the day, it's still about entertainment. So they needed to keep script and whatnot to a certain extent sometimes.
Yeah. You could tell like Owen was trying to sort of have some technical lingo, and he was like, some of it was like not great. Like I can imagine you pulling your hair out going, oh, you can't say it like that. I mean, what are we talking about? I didn't make specific notes on that one, but Couple. Wait, I think I'd messaged you about like the way the kid dressed. I mean, I guess the
Yeah.
early, yeah, I can get it, right? It's like he's coming in or whatever. He's a protege. He doesn't really play, whatever. But like, and he started. I guess after he went to the swag tent after he got the first tour exemption, he looked a little bit better. It still was kind of janky, but
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we're gonna try to improve the apparel. Did they ever ask you about like? Nobody's wearing those pants, okay? Like, I
No,
don't care.
well, that's the thing. Like he was a young punk, and like
Yeah.
they knew that, right? They knew that wasn't
Yeah.
the apparel, and I'm like, okay, I mean, fine. Like that's weird, and we're gonna hear about it. But I mean, I guess I can see what you're saying. He's this young punk. He doesn't really care to be
Yeah.
out there in the beginning, right? Just wearing these massive pants. Like that's right. He didn't even want to be there, right?
Yeah.
His mom's getting paid for him to play golf, and they're getting money for it, right? So he's just showing up like whatever. And so he kind of still has a bit of that in him as he starts to play and play better. He has no style or whatever, and like Zero he meets, like it's not like she's super stylist. Like it's just
Right.
it was just kind of one of those. But yeah, the swag tent was funny. It comes out in the
I know
baby blues.
he's got all the flowered shirts and stuff, and you're like, oh, and the dude that he's playing with on tour, like, there's no chance a guy's gonna act like that towards him. That's actually a tour player, right? He's just like, oh, what's up, dude? Like that's not happening. All right, so the one big pick and nit that I had was
Let's hear it.
when he's playing. I don't know if it was the first qualifier for the USAM or maybe it's the second one, right? And he holes out on 17, and the whole family comes out and like we're throwing a party. He still has to play 18,
He does.
and the whole family doesn't run into the fairway and they're hugging and like throwing up. It's like, what do we do? I'm looking at him like, all right, cool. That he holes out like again, like the guy holds out more than anybody that I've ever seen, and all of a sudden the whole like the whole family's like hugging him and stuff.
Yeah.
He's on 17 and like, all right, bud, like you could Vanderbilt this thing on 18. They never show 18. They're like,
No.
oh, he just won. I'm like, no, we have 18 holes. Like, no pushback on that one at all. Like, no, that would never ever happen.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so.
You
funny.
thought I was kidding, dude. I look at this stuff.
That's good. No, that's great. I mean, this is a question I asked. I'd be like, in that moment, I'd be like, hey, the round isn't over yet, right? No, I know, but we're just painting the picture that he goes on and he wins from there. That's the given that we're showing. Okay, like something could happen. Yes, but that's we don't have enough time. We can't say anything. We're moving on from that.
Yeah, we get that. Yeah, we get that celebration after he holds out on 18.
I think the thing is that he had already holed out on 18, so we couldn't do another hole out on 18.
No,
And
you
so
didn't
now
need to. All you needed to do is have him tapping in on 18, just to like confirm the win, and then then they can come out on the green. It could be like kind of legit. All right, here's my next one. Here's the next one. You're gonna love this. He's getting ready to play the first round of the USAM. All right. He's had apparently one practice round. Okay, there's two pick and nets right here. The first practice round where he's in with the girl is caddying for him, and she goes, "You made 8 birdies today." Okay, one, we're not counting birdies on the practice round. We know that's bad. That's like nobody's holding out on practice rounds. And 2, the next day, Price tells him to take the day off and go relax. Okay, this is the day before the USAM. Okay, and what do they go do? They go play pickleball. Okay, come on. You had to have a little bit of cringiness about that one.
Oh man.
I mean, they're doing whatever. I can't remember what else they did. Him and his girlfriend, and they were doing, and then they go play pickleball the day before his first round.
Oh man, yeah, no, you're right. I'm trying to think when they went to the quarry.
No, that was before they went to the tournament, because that was when he was like mad at Price. Yeah, that was when he's mad at Price because again, Price. That was one of my questions. Like, obviously, it's a very obvious answer to the question. I was like, Price was acting like the worst junior golf parent in the world, right? When he was like yelling at him and it's like, what's wrong with you? You just shot 43. But obviously that was to mirror what his dad had put him through when he was a junior golf that made him quit, right? So like, it's not really a great question, but I was kind of surprised that they kind of put that in there, but I guess it made sense with the story.
Well, and like that he had money on the line too.
Well, yeah,
right?
that was his side thing of as far as like, he's known for gambling or whatever, but this the way he talked to him when he's sitting in the cart, right? And he's like, "Oh, so you're gonna pout now?" Like, and he's just yelling at him like nothing that a good coach would actually say to him. That would be something a junior golf dad would say to his kid. But it was just to like bring back the memories of why he quit golf.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's some of that, but there was some of the betting on it, because that's why Mitt says after, he's like, why were you on him? Why were you on his case?
Right.
Do you have something riding on this?
Yeah, like $3,000 or something on it on a kid that never played a tournament and since a junior golfer. But I think that was actually pretty good. I thought the way they tied that together, and then his dad coming back screwing everything up.
Yeah.
But
no, I know.
Yeah, but that was the big one. It was like I was sitting there, I'm watching it with my wife, and I'm like, what are they doing? He's taking the day off and doing what? He's getting ready to play in the U.S. Amateur tomorrow. That's a rest day. Just take go and go relax. And I'm like, okay, that's not ever happening.
They did have a pickleball consultant for that too.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, it's taken over, man. They had a pickleball court in the middle of the PGA show this year. It was there last year. It's crazy. Like in the middle of golf mecca, which is smart, I guess, for them. But
for sure.
So
I know.
that was my main pick and nits right there. So anything else that you can tell me, but just talk about just the process. What have you learned, like being on set, or like anything that surprised you that you didn't know, like about making movies or making shows like that?
For sure. I mean, I think Peter said it best. So Peter Dagger is Santi's character.
Right.
Peter said it best. He's like, we don't get paid to act. We get paid to wait. And it's like,
long days,
there's so much waiting. The days are long, like you said. So, a lot of 12-hour days. And in the 12-hour day, you're at lunch for maybe 30 minutes, and there's stuff going on, like you're filming, and then they set up for a different angle, and they set up the lighting, the cameras, and you film a bit, and they change the angle. They go from wide, then they go tighter, get closer to the actors. And so you'll work for 4 hours, and you'll get maybe 5 minutes of screen time.
It's incredible.
It is. It's wild. It's so wild. So I think that was the biggest thing, is just how much goes into such a small amount, right? They have the footage that they have is just wild. The amount of camera takes they have is just incredible for one scene, right? And so if it's easy if there's one or two characters talking, but if you get 4 characters, they literally have to do a wide angle and film them all talking first. And then from there, they go in a little tighter on each person. They do the whole thing. Then they go to the next person, the whole thing again. And they get the close-up of everyone. It just takes so long. And then I think it's like an organized chaos. There's so many departments. There's so much going on. And like I'll have these background golfers who I bring in to be a part of it, which is cool because I bring in some pros from the areas and stuff like that. Now I'm in LA bringing in some of the Southern California pros, and it's cool to bring teachers in and have them experience what this is like, because not many golf instructors who get to be behind the screen of making something like this. And so it's just, I tell them, just like sit back and just watch, just watch what happens in between takes. And the people, they're just going everywhere. Everyone's got a job. It's going crazy. And they're all doing something, and it just gets done, and it's just wild.
Who are some of the pros you're talking about? Are they some of the swing doubles?
So we got some swing doubles here, but then just some background guys who are doing.
Just extras and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
was trying
So
to think
cool.
there wasn't any. It wasn't like Happy Gilmore where there was actually well-known names in the show, from what I can remember. Right. So.
We had Colin Morikawa last year, Max Homa, Wyndham
Oh, that's
Clark,
right. Yeah, on the
Keegan
range. Yeah,
Bradley.
the range. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first day when he was at the tour event, they did
Yeah.
talk to Max and they talked to Wyndham Clark
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that was cool.
then he played against Morikawa in the final round.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool for me. I mean, I gotta say,
Oh, for
selfishly,
sure.
that was a
Yeah.
pretty cool moment to be able to spend a couple days with guys like Homa and Wyndham and and Morikawa. We got to play some chipping games, which was awesome.
Okay.
Played some chipping games against Colin. I will say that I was up on him in this chipping game until I got called away.
Nice. All right, you still got it. Still got it,
Yeah.
pro.
But Max kicked my butt. We did one shot. It was like a tight lie over a bunker to a tight pin. He hadn't even practiced or warmed up. Just opened it up, threw it up there, a little spin. I mean, I didn't hit it so good, and so it was like, wow, yeah, that's special. And then I played a wedge game against Keegan Bradley. So
Okay.
he's in the fairway on one of these holes, and he's just sitting there waiting for them to get the camera ready. And I go over to him, and he's like probably like 80 yards away from a pin. And I said, "Do you want to have closest to the pin?" And he's like, "Me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you. Who else am I talking to?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So he grabs a couple balls out, throws them down. He goes first, and he hits this really nice low flighted wedge, and I'll give it to him. It was a really nice looking shot, right? You could tell a lot of zip on it, nice trajectory. Lands in there just below the hole. Probably lands at like 10 feet and sucks back to about 15 feet, I'd say. And as soon as it spun, he's like, "Oh man, it spun too much." And I'm like, "Okay." So then I go and hit, and I pushed it a little bit, but it wasn't bad. Pushed it a bit. It lands. It bounces a little right, spins, and it goes to about 5 feet. And he's like, "Oh, nice bounce, buds."
Let's go.
I'm like,
Oh
"Yeah, oh,
man,
man."
story you'll never forget, man. That's
I
so cool
know.
though.
I
That is
know.
so
Yeah.
cool. I know you can't
so
tell
cool.
me anything about season 2, but and I'll leave you with this one. It's like, have you found yourself being more comfortable, like inserting yourself, like at the end of like season 1, as far as like what you're doing, like, and what skills like do you feel like you've learned that you've kind of improved on?
Yeah. So Jason Keller, he got me the nickname of Eagle Eyes in season 1, which was cool. Because, obviously I wanted to impress him. Like, he's
Sure.
the big dog. So for him to think of me as like someone who doesn't miss anything, or not that I didn't miss anything, but I picked up on a lot of it.
Sure.
That could have gone unnoticed, that I got that name. So just gave me confidence, as we went along, that it's like he recognizes it, which is cool. And so now in season 2, I think what's really cool is my relationship with Owen has gotten a lot better too. We become a lot closer. I'll just say this right now. Him and I have played Riviera a couple times together already in the past couple months. And was it like a week and a half ago, I'm over at his house playing soccer in his
Oh, come on.
backyard
Now you're just
with
rubbing
his
it in.
with his friends, with his kids, and we're watching afterwards we're having dinner watching the Seahawks LA football game.
Oh my gosh, dude, that is
Like,
so
can you-
crazy.
Can you
So
imagine?
give us one of your, if you have any stories about Owen, as far as like on set or any bloopers or anything that sticks out to you before I let you go.
Oh man. I mean, there's some times I'll say like he's hit some shots, probably like he's not even meant to hit a ball, but he's like, he loves to just hit shots. Like, he's addicted. And so he'll grab a ball and he'll hit, and shit, there's been some shanks that have come up like, hit things and bounced off and gone places and almost hit people. I'm like, oh my goodness, just covering my face. But one thing that happened the other day, wild, we're you'll see the location. I'll just say it's at a farm.
Okay.
But when we go out, he's filming indoors because it's a night scene. He's filming indoors, and we're doing this like little takeaway piece. So we're talking about something in the living room, and I'm telling him, okay, we got to just adjust this takeaway a little bit here, okay? And so we go out front. It's dark. I'm bringing my phone camera flashlight out to the front step so that he doesn't trip. And but he doesn't care. He's marching out. He's got a club, and this club, I'm gonna say, is like a Ben Hogan, probably 1990s club blade. The grip is worn out. There's nothing left. He's doing some practice swings, like full speed, and all of a sudden, he lets go of it.
Oh no!
And you hear flying away over top of the house into the trees, and the whole crew is over here, and there's a golf club flying, and Owen's like, God. We're like both quiet because like, do I yell 4? I don't know what to like yell right now. Heads up, and we hear it hit a tree. It didn't hit a house. We hear it hit a tree, and then all of a sudden it kind of hit like a canopy and fell to the ground. It never hit anyone. It never damaged anything. Oh my goodness. It was just like, we are so lucky.
Yeah.
So anyways, I told the props department to put a little tack on the grip. So that didn't happen again.
Put a little stickum on that. Yeah. That's my fault. Caddyshack reference.
Oh man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, dude, this has been so much fun. It's been great to get to know you, and hopefully we can continue the conversation. Good luck on season 2, and best of luck with your academy. Tell Mr. Holding I said hello, and
I will,
this has been awesome, man. Yeah, so leave your handles, leave your social handles, and anything else, any information you want for people to come work with you, your skill list or your academy or whatever.
Yeah, well, I just started I just started an online program for coaches back in early December called Coach to CEO. So now I'm working with coaches, helping them build bigger and better businesses. You know, something that I wish that I had in the beginning, because I found like there's so many good golf instructors, but they a lot lack in just business sense, right?
Sure.
In the systems, you know, retention, pricing, scheduling, all these type of things that go into building a business. So the only reason I say that is that if there's any coaches out there who are just, you know, struggling, whether they're looking to get more business or they're plateaued or they're just starting out, to kind of hit me up for that. And again, it's called Coach to CEO and coach2ceo.com with the number 2.
Get a website. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my Instagram is just my name, Nathan Leonhardt, at Nathan Leonhardt. So you can find me there.
Awesome, man. You're the best, buddy. Keep crushing it, and look forward to seeing the season 2. When's season 2 come out? You probably can't even like drop it yet.
I don't even know yet. I think it's going to be.
They haven't announced it, I don't think.
Yeah, I think towards end of summer, maybe fall, just because of the fact that we're still filming until the end of March. So filming will be there and it takes time.
Yep, the patience game once again.
Yes.
We're still waiting for the second season of Landman and just stopped, right? So it's like, or the third season or whatever. So it's kind of like, it takes forever. So awesome, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate you having me, Jason. Thanks, man.